of a bunch of great questions, and Rachel Perrin from Kowalski's, who's about to make a turkey roulade with Chris, is here to answer some of those questions. Thanks for helping us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, when you're here, we normally, have a million questions for you, so we thought, hey, maybe the viewers do too. Okay, so our first question is about how to roast the bird. Courtney from Chaska said, I always cook my turkey breast up, and I've heard that cooking it breast down makes it more moist. So what is your opinion on that?
Well, I've never actually done this, but I know the theory behind it. I know the science behind why people think that they should put their breast down. It's just because the dark meat has more connective tissue, more fat. It's going to baste the white meat if it's on the bottom and keep it moist. But the real issue I think here is that if you want to have a turkey with a nice golden brown skin, if you want to do the Norman Rockwell thing and carry it to the table, you can't do it breast down because it's going to be soggy and it's not going to get golden brown or crispy. So you can actually get the same thing by cutting the turkey into parts and roasting the dark and white meat separate from each other because the white meat needs less time than the dark, and that's why you end up worrying about the white meat drying out and overcooking. So if you can put the dark pieces in ahead of time and then put the white pieces in about a half an hour later, you solve that problem.
Okay, so there's pros and cons, but all of them make sense. They're all going to turn out fine.
Yes.
Okay, the next question is about smoking a turkey. Okay. This came from someone that we didn't get their name, but she said, my son wants to smoke his turkey on the grill, so I won't have any drippings to make for gravy. How can I still make homemade gravy?
Right. So you have to have gravy, obviously.
You have to. It's a staple.
We cannot be without the gravy.
It's like against the law if you don't have gravy.
Absolutely. Okay. And really the only thing that you can't get is the fat. The drippings provide the fat that you use to make the roux with it. But you can use another fat like butter. Okay. You can just use butter, which is going to add great flavor instead of the turkey drippings. Another thing you can do is add aromatics like onions, mushrooms to the fat. Saute them a little bit to build up those layers of flavor. Use a good stock, or a good broth. Box stocks are great. And then also use herbs and seasonings to boost the flavor there. So obviously salt and pepper. I love poultry seasoning. It's a mixture of sage, rosemary, thyme. It's ground, but you can also use fresh too. So just add layers of flavor.
You can get the flavor and the butter can replace the fat. You're just not going to have those little bits. The little bits, yes. But it's still going to be great.
Yes.
Great answer. Okay, so in my family, my mom uses flour and my sister uses cornstarch for gravy. So which one do you think is better, or neither? Do they both work?
Again, there's advantages to each one. I mean, it depends on what you're going for. Now, cornstarch for many people has the advantage of being gluten-free. So if you're looking to make your gravy gluten-free, that can be a way to go to avoid the gluten that's in flour. Also, cornstarch thickened gravy is a nice consistency, and it has a nice translucency to it. It's very pretty and glossy and shiny, so some people like that look. I do think that even though the flour thickened gravy is a little bit more opaque, it has better flavor because the flour has protein in it. You can cook those proteins in the fat, develop colors flavor. So
I didn't know flour had protein in it, and that's what Carl did. Carl used flour when he made the gravy. That's going to be on the internet and also on KARE 11 Plus. Okay, this question is from Brian from New Hope. Every year we cut our turkey up into pieces and cook it on 2 baking sheets to save time. But we also put butter underneath the skin, and when it melts, it drips into the sheet pan, eventually burning and smoking up the kitchen. So how can we prevent that and still get crispy skin?
Yes. Well, I mentioned this earlier. I love this technique of cutting up the parts and putting them in separately because you're getting that benefit of cooking the white and dark meat separately from one another. I wouldn't skip the butter because butter is delicious on a turkey breast. It's going to provide good color, good flavor, but that burning can be a problem. What I like to do is make sure that either the turkey or the parts are on a rack. So whether you're using a baking dish or a baking sheet or a pan, put a rack in the bottom. I'm going to do this with our turkey roulade later, but pour a little bit of broth or water and to make a shallow little pool underneath it. So that water isn't touching the turkey, but it's giving the dripping somewhere to go so that they're not going to touch the bottom of the pan and burn and smoke and make a mess.
That's a great idea.
You just got to kind of check in on it every once in a while, especially if you're doing it for a really long time, to make sure that the water gets refilled if it's getting a little bit low. But it also has the benefit of keeping the environment inside the oven really moist and steamy, which is further going to benefit the moist juiciness of your turkey.
Okay, quickly, we have one more question. Okay. That was a really good tip. Lastly, a question about what can be done before Thanksgiving Day. Please talk about the list. How do you prep?
Right. So so many things. I mean, I think it's almost easier for me to say what you can't do the day or the day before, but you can do pies in advance, 2 or 3 days. Cranberry sauces and gravy can be done ahead of time. Anything that would go in the oven, like dressing, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, any type of casserole dish, make it ahead, wrap it, put it in the fridge, and then bake it day of. So just leaving yourself really with just the turkey, and in my opinion, the mashed potatoes are best made the day of too.
I agree with that. The mashed potatoes, we're going to do that as well. But yeah, you could do stuffing the day before and then just heat it up, right?
It's almost better when you do the
I
stuffing
agree.
the day
It
before.
kind of like it takes on that great flavor.
Exactly, yeah.
Rachel, great questions and answers. Thank you so much for helping us out.
Sure.